guys,
Hello.
and welcome to episode 20. 20. We are at an absolute pinnacle point of our podcast. And first of all, I need to say, if you haven't already gone on Apple Podcasts and liked, rated, and reviewed this, you are not in with a chance to win a bottle of wine. So do it.
Yes, we have a competition running and it only runs for like one more week. So all you have to do is do what Tiff just said and we will send you a bottle of wine. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Quite simple
as that.
This episode is obviously a longer one. It's episode 20. We are 5 months into recording a podcast and I can't believe it.
Anybody who's listened to all of them, fair play.
Fair play to you.
Because we ramble on fucking loads.
We do ramble on loads, and this one is no exception.
I mean, this is the longest podcast to date. You've already seen the time when you've looked at this and gone, how am I going to fit that into my day?
But please, if you need to, split it into two. We will enjoy every second of it, as will you.
Absolutely. Well, because what we talk about at the end is very, very good.
Oh, okay, that's a teaser.
Well, it is. It's worth doing all of it.
Then let's let them go. We'll see you in the episode.
See you in the episode.
Episode 20.
It's happened. We've hit another landmark.
Milestone.
That's what I meant.
What have you hit, like the cliffs of Dover or something?
I've got to Stonehenge. Week 20. That's 5 months of podcast, love.
Oh, we've clearly got nothing better to do with our lives.
Clearly not on a Saturday afternoon.
So what we've done this week to mark the milestone that it is instead of just buying a bottle of wine, we've bought a bottle of wine each. Yes,
well, we did. We always said that every 10th episode we would do a magnum, and we did on episode 10.
Oh, we did.
And we just figured that this next milestone, instead of a magnum, we've gone for a bottle.
So we've split up and
clickbait.
Got our own bottles.
Why don't you talk us through your bottle of wine?
Mine is called Gem, and people on the YouTube will see that it's like cut. It's a lovely bottle. Google it if you're listening in your ears and not with your eyes.
It's a very cool bottle.
It's a fit bottle, so I got it based mainly on the bottle shape, but it is a nice colour of blush.
It does look good. Where is it from? Does it have any blurb?
The blurb says Indication Géographique Protégée.
Oh, so it's from Germany then?
French. Product of France.
Well, I hope it's good.
12%. Let's go.
All that matters. And it's a full bottle and it's all yours, although I do think I want to try some.
Well, we can try some of each other's. What about yours?
I went with, and we've had this now on the podcast, I think more than once. This could be...
No, that will just make it... This will be the second.
Is this the second? Yeah. Okay, well, this is hibiscus. We did it as a magnum at Pike's.
Yes.
And I've got a bottle to myself today. It's made locally. It's literally the vineyard down the road.
Support local business.
We like to support local business. Mine's 13%.
Oh, do you want to switch?
I'm going to be hammered.
But what I like about mine, which we did discover with the magnum of hibiscus that we did last time, I've got a glass cork, and I actually think you do, so I would check.
Do you think this has a glass cork?
I would unwrap
Even the smaller bottles?
I would unwrap it because it doesn't look like a regular cork.
Okay. And the glass ones are nice because we collect our corks, don't we?
I'm keeping this bottle.
We do collect corks, but glass toppers are nice to go in the memory jar.
Ready? That was my...
That was your...
Oh.
So it does make a nice little pop.
Ooh.
Mine's a glass topper
Yay!
too.
No
How
more
exciting.
worrying about bottle opener in. So
I'm not sure mine will make any kind of sound at all.
I'm just going to get mine going.
Go for it, love. Mine's really like, I'm going to have to...
Oh, this is good.
Well, you start drinking.
Oh,
Why don't you tell us about your wine?
Winey. Oh, actually, that's nice.
See, mine's open, didn't even pop.
Oh, lame. Yeah, that's nice, actually. A bit sweet, which I like in a rosé.
It's Sometimes I'm tempted to just go, just keep going.
I was just going to put a straw in the bottle this week. After the busy week that we've had.
Yes, let's discuss that. Cheers.
Oh, sorry. That was terrible. Right, can we do that again?
Silence in the room. Cheers. Just keeps going, doesn't it?
Oh, it's like a sound bath. Lovely.
Well, good evening. This is one of the later podcasts that we've done. 6:30.
Yeah, because we were drinking a bottle each and we thought if we start too early with a pod, then the night can go downhill pretty quickly.
Well, also, if we do it too early, that would just give us the motivation to maybe then go on a full-on bender, and we don't want that now.
No, so we're just doing a bottle of wine each.
Maybe we'll probably, following this, we're going to probably just stick a film on Disney Plus, which we signed up to this week.
Exciting times.
And fall asleep on the sofa. Wild night. In the Bennett household.
So let me ask you this. How was your week?
Oh, are we doing it back this way? Okay.
Because this week's different. I'm not going to...
I have had a very good week. Anybody who is a follower of the podcast will know that last week, Mum and Dad were on the podcast. It has had so much positive review. I'm actually worried that their podcast would be better than ours.
Oh, I don't know if it was just them and no one to mediate. Because they do require a mediator.
But yeah, so this week, my parents have been in town. They have been staying with us here, and they literally went home this morning.
Yeah, and how was it for you?
It was really nice, and it's throughout the week, but specifically today, I think I'm sort of reflecting on how I do feel very lucky that they've been able to, because I know a lot of people can't travel right now, and even if they could, they maybe wouldn't, and things like that. So I feel very privileged and lucky that they had their holiday booked. They had to do lots and lots of different rearrangements of flights and all sorts of things in order to be here, even to the point where they got here a day early without telling us. But it's been a nice week, and I think they really enjoyed it, and that's all that matters really, is that when we have a guest here, I want them to enjoy themselves. I want them to have a good holiday. And I think that they had that.
Good. Yeah, we did well. We hired a car for the four of us, because obviously we only have a 2-seater convertible.
We haven't used your car.
I know. I need to go. We'll drive it tomorrow.
Yes.
But yeah, it was nice to go around to different parts of the island, some of which we hadn't even been to yet.
No, we've done a couple of new things.
And we have eaten at a lot of places.
Yeah. You can't really help it, can you? That when guests are around, especially when they're sort of on holiday, and your days pretty much are just chill out days and sort of relax, enjoy the sunshine a bit, that actually the thing that you do for the day is go and eat something. Are you worried that you're going to get through your wine quite fast?
I am.
Is it good?
Nice.
Can I try it?
Would you like to switch? I've never had that wine before that you've got.
Definitely drank my wine before, but...
Oh yeah, yours is drier.
Oh, that kind of suits you, really, doesn't it?
It's a sweet one. I like it.
The more it's like a soft drink, the better for you.
What?
I mean, you talk about we ate in a lot of places. What was your favourite meal that you had this week? And let's talk about that meal a little bit.
I love food. It's going to be between Bambuda and Gorahe.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bambuda we went to before, but we only had like a dish each type thing, like a normal meal. Whereas when we went to Bambuda last week, we did the all-you-can-eat menu that they do in the winter months before they close. They're closed now, so we have to wait until spring. But we just ordered everything, and we got to try all of these different things, and they still had the duck on the menu, and that was really, really, really good. But Kangarahe wins. Because it's burgers and pulled pork and hot sauce and mac and cheese and fries.
And good vibes.
And nachos.
Good atmosphere, great service.
And yumminess.
It's just all very good. Let's talk about Kangarahe then, because following last week's podcast, Mum gave us the advice of, you talk a lot about, and we do go to a lot of different places to enjoy maybe some drinks or a meal or something like that. And while we're not going to become reviewers of places, we should just sort of dive in a little deeper about where we went. So let's talk about Kangarahe a little bit.
That there was an easier way, because obviously the podcast takes a while to set up. I wish there was an easier way to record something, because we could do like a 10-15 minute sit down about a restaurant or about a couple of restaurants.
You could do mini
but
pods,
it takes a while.
Maybe it's that we need to get
better.
Quite good mobile microphones. Record directly into an iPhone. And just maybe we could do that.
Is that a thing?
So anyway, as I was saying, let's talk about
so it's basically like, it looks like a shed on the side of the road.
It does.
Yeah. And it's got a big smoker, and it's small, it's tiny, but really inviting. It's got a little outside bar, and it's very rustic. And the taxi driver that took us there the other day was asking, you were in the front seat, and it was asking you like, so what is this place, a restaurant? And you were like, yeah, explaining it. And then she was really interested. So it's obviously not super well known. When I've put it on my Instagram the first time round, I had a couple of people going, oh, I didn't even know this place existed, or I've never been because it didn't look that good.
Well, it's out of town as well, isn't it? It's
like
very
mile,
easy to just drive past it.
Only a tiny bit out of town.
But if people are used to sort of staying within the towns, which I guess most people, if they were on holiday in Ibiza, probably do go,
True.
We're going into one of the towns and that's where we'll eat.
Do you know who will like it? Alice and Joe.
Well, it's a big smoker, and they just do a ton of meat.
Pork. And like, so I have not strayed from this same meal each time I've been.
Have you had the same every time?
So we've been 3 times now.
Yeah.
And I've had the same burger every single time. It's the Tipsy Texan, and it's a beef burger. They don't ask you how you're gonna get it cooked. You get it like medium, and it is stunning. Topped with pulled pork, barbecue sauce, and like it's like a brioche bun, so it's perfect.
It is amazing. They cook everything perfectly.
And they now do a side of mac and cheese, which we discovered last time we went. And this time that we went, we had pulled pork and like 2 portions, pulled pork and pulled beef nachos, which were bloody good. Really
good.
And then they have all the hot sauces in the world.
Yeah, let's talk about hot sauces.
We play with hot sauces, and we're just like, who wants to try it?
It's a very cool place, because once you've sort of ordered, and they just sort of bring your starters out, they start to just bring hot sauces and just put them on the table.
It's like a dare. It's like a silent dare. You don't even know they arrive.
These massive selections, and well, it feels like massive selections. They put like 6 or 7 bottles out. But you kind of, like you say, it's a challenge to go.
So I check the Scoville levels, see how hot they're going to be, try some, fall in love with bottles, and then buy them off Amazon to be delivered.
Yes, as a result of our visit to Kangarake this week, you came home and ordered hot sauce. And then your dad Googled it, and it was like, it's one of the hottest that you can buy in Europe. Yeah.
So it's like, it was 130,000 Scovilles.
So if you think the Bennett barbecues have been exciting before, they're about to go to a whole new level.
Next level. It'll be good. They'll be,
Well, I would say that's our recommendation of the week. Kangarake.
Is that going to be a thing?
Yeah, well, maybe. Let's just talk about some of the things.
Next week we have to go somewhere healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It's been a really, really good week. I feel like I struggle with visitors, no matter who they are, because I am so used to like alone time, or just us time where we sit in silence, or and we're absolutely fine with that. Whereas if people are here, I always feel like I've got to host, and I know that I don't have to do that. Yeah. And like your dad will probably be like, you don't have to.
Yeah. But you do,
but
just naturally.
You've always got like a front on, and it's just not a front, but do you know what I mean? You've always you always are just a bit more lively than you'd normally be, because you've got people in your house.
No, I agree with you
and so
entirely.
it's tiring. It's fun. I had a bit of a wobble, I think, at the beginning midweek, where I just had like a bad day in general.
Yeah, you were working,
and then I was just like, I don't know if I want to go to dinner tonight, and then like I don't know what happened, but something clicked, switched, and I felt okay again.
Let's just take a moment to really think. That's the longest we've spent with any other people.
For the whole of lockdown.
For 2020.
True.
So I thought this while they were here, because we sort of joked, and it's easy. Once your mum and dad turn up, it just feels normal, it feels natural. But it really did sort of dawn on me. We're the first people they'd spent any time with. At all. Physical time with at all since February, March. And vice versa as well. Although we see people and we see friends and we are social, of course, but spending that amount of time with anybody else.
But actually, if you look at it in a different way, like we haven't seen our family, and that's different to seeing friends. Like I know obviously your mum and dad and stuff haven't been able to like hug the kids and things like that, but they've seen family. They've seen family a lot in person, and I know my family have seen each other a lot. Like my mum and my sisters have been out. Like they went to the range yesterday and went like Christmas decoration shopping.
Nice.
And it's just so actually yes, like being with family for an elongated amount of time and having someone in your house, and obviously it's the first people that we've had in this house for a long time. I know Demi was here but only for a couple of days, so it kind of felt like a quick, didn't it?
Yeah, so it was a lot to get used to.
So yeah, I think that's...
So it's not a surprise.
Yeah, that's maybe why I had a bit of a wobble that day. I just don't know.
But I know exactly what you mean.
Also, you judged my driving, so...
Well, it's hard not to judge your driving when, like, you're driving. It's just... Yeah.
So yeah, that was... it was a very good week. I don't want to check the bank.
No, because as much as we always say, it's going to be a chilled... But it is. We chilled. We stayed at home, but we went out... The food's
not as expensive as Dubai. Sorry, I butted in.
We went out and ate something every day. As much as we sort of said, we'll do loads of barbecues. I think we did one.
But let's compare that to Dubai spending on food.
Well, absolutely.
We would have spent easily like 100 euros a day, whereas really you spend 50, 25, 30 each a day. And that's way under what you would spend in Dubai going out. But
we're not making Dubai money now, so it's all relative.
Speak for yourself.
You have smashed that glass, my love. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. Do we have any like random topics this week?
It's a funny old week because as much as this is a milestone episode, as we've sort of worked our way to the podcast starting, it kind of feels a bit strange this week. I feel a little bit, I'm going to be honest, I feel a little bit like, where's this podcast going to go? But
we think that every week.
We do think it every week, but it's just been we've been so busy doing things this week, and Mum and Dad only left this morning.
True.
That, I don't know, that sort of moment to deflate and sort of be like, okay, like, I think that's house is quiet again, and it's straight into podcast mode. So I don't really know what we're going to chat about.
Well, I've got let's just kick off with a question and see what happens.
I've got some coming through live right now.
Oh yeah, so will I. But this is one from Crookers.
Oh, Crookers.
She's always good. Thank you so much for always sending a question, Crookers. We really appreciate that.
She's great.
But it's about being episode 20. So we can talk about, you know what? This is the most committed I've been to anything in a long time.
5 months.
Apart from you, but you know.
So, me and then the podcast. Yeah. You've never committed to anything else for longer than 5 months.
No, I was saying in a long time, I've been really committed to this.
I love that we do this.
Good.
Do you know what? If nobody listened, I'd still want to do it.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, people do listen and they comment and they message and they tell us we're loving it, keep it going, which is fine. But even if people weren't, I always enjoy this time of the week with you.
Oh, that's delightful.
Mainly because of the wine.
Yeah, it's the wine. Crooker's question was, as it's episode 20, how different are you now compared to your 20-year-old self?
Good question. And I thought, as you were reading that, I've had exactly the same question sent to me, but I haven't. I've got another thing that's about your 20-year-old self versus your 30-year-old self. So what was the question again? How do you differ?
How different are you now compared to your 20-year-old self?
So at 20...
I don't think I like wine at 20.
I was at university. I drank anything you put in front of me.
See, I hadn't started my seasons yet. I was. You
were a hard worker.
Still a goody two shoes, hard worker, working full time at Centre Parks probably at this point. Maybe either Centre Parks or another like really posh hotel that I worked in, and I managed the restaurants. And you had to wear like white gloves and a jacket. So you
were in your goody two shoes before seasons corrupted you.
Yeah, I was climbing climbing a career ladder in food and beverage.
And then you fucked it up.
And then I improved my life 10
How old were you when you went on your first season?
21.
21. So...
No, 2013. I was 23.
Oh, wow. So you did it a little bit late, really,
22, 23. Yeah, it was late for me. 22, winter season was first. In Verbier.
20-year-old you versus 30-year-old you. What's changed?
I don't think I'm so serious. And I know you might think I'm really serious now.
So you're less serious now that you're in your 30s than you were at 20?
Yeah, because I was like this, I have to always be really, really good at my job. I'm always chasing a promotion. Always, like, that's what I was doing when I was 20. And it got me to, when I was 22, to then go, fuck it, I'm going skiing.
And that messed you up?
It didn't mess me up. I think it improved my life. If I hadn't had made that decision, I wouldn't have met you.
That's funny when you look back at things like that, though, because...
Oh, I can go deep on that.
When you think, one decision many years ago, had I not or had I made that decision differently, you wouldn't be where you are right now.
There is a mosquito on my microphone.
Lovely. Well, as long as it stays there.
Bosh!
Oh, there you go. Off he goes. Well, you never know. The listeners may have heard like that buzzing for a while, and like, thank God you got rid of it.
Sorry, I noticed it. That's why I said it. So I think I am a lot more chilled. If people would be like,
you're not chilled.
Since when have you ever been chilled? What about you?
Well, mine is probably completely the opposite. At 20, I was at uni, had zero responsibility. I didn't get hangovers, and I do now. And I sort of had like zero care. Not zero care, but like at that point, I was still in my sort of second year of university. And I mean, shoot me down. I didn't really do any work until my third year at university when it suddenly became serious.
How much did university cost you?
I don't know or remember. A lot of money.
Do you think it's worth it?
I do. That's
for
actually
the life...
not for the grades or the qualification that you get, unless you're, say, getting a doctorate or you're becoming a lawyer, in which case that qualification is fundamental to what you do. I learned more about mixing with people that maybe weren't from the same town as you, and how to sort of look after yourself.
You cast a wider net.
You do. And so as much as, yes, you leave these things with a crippling debt, or it just costs members of your family quite a lot of money to pay for you to do it. Thanks, Nan.
Did your Nan pay for you to go to uni?
I think between them, both sets of grandparents funded both my sister and me and all of their grandchildren through university. So it was either that one, I can't remember which way it went, but one set of grandparents sort of paid the tuition fees, and one set of grandparents paid I can't even, for like housing fees or rent or something. This
reminds me of something I said the other day. I said that your family was too rich to go to Haven.
Yeah, we went to Centre Parks instead.
And then Hobie and Jade, if they listen, they'll just be like, yeah, we went to Haven, you went to Centre Parks at Christmas. Yeah. And that was how we differ. But we're both sat here in Ibiza still.
And I love that you say that. You always have you went to university, I didn't, but we're sat at the same table. And I love that.
I'm always sat around the same type of people, but they say that you're the average of your 5 closest friends. So I'm really happy with that.
Well, so technically you've gained multiple degrees based on just the amount of time you spent with other people.
Smash in.
And I've learned what it's like to work at Centre Parks. Which is, let's be honest, my favourite place. I fucking love Centre Parks.
It's funny, I think when I told you that, you're like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. It's my favourite place. I'm like, I'm joking.
I think of like you and your sisters as like, to me, you're like mini celebrities because you've all worked at Centre Parks. Because when I went to Centre Parks on holiday, the people that work there, I always used to be like, well, where do they live?
In the town down the road, like normal
No,
people.
I thought you must have lived in like this secret little village.
On site?
Like little Christmas elves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was always like, because like, yeah, anyway.
That's funny.
So I love
Centre Parks. I stayed overnight
once
at Centre Parks in the hotel because I was on a late early. So you finish at midnight or gone midnight and you're starting at 7 or 8. So they sometimes put you up in the hotel.
Oh, do they? Nice.
Yeah, so you don't even... I know we only live literally 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, you did.
Sometimes you can get away with a cheeky overnight stay.
Nice.
Liked that. They were the good years. They were funny. Yeah.
So in answer... Let's summarise the answer to that question. You've become less serious, and I now get hangovers. And that's the difference.
I sometimes get a hangover.
Can I give you my question that was about
the same thing, yeah.
Again, in nod to episode 20. This one came from Jazz. Jazz something.
Jazz Gad.
That's the one. And I thought this was a great question. So... if you could go back to your 20-year-old self and just say 3 words to them...
Like a 3-word review?
Well, not a review.
3-word warning?
Yeah. You can go to your 20-year-old self, say 3 words. What would you say and why?
Oh, I feel like I need time to think about that. I'm just... Do you know what?
Be less serious?
Yeah, maybe. The first thing I could... Oh, no, I don't know. I could be... This is the first thing I've thought of, and I could be a little... It might sound a little lame to people, but it's good. It's like, love yourself more.
Love yourself. Yeah. Nice.
And I just think, like, obviously I'm doing therapy and shit. But actually, and everyone now, like, I look at my sisters, I look at people, you know, my friends, I look at people on Instagram, and, like, everyone's comparing themselves to these people that have all been photoshopped. And you're just like, just stop. Just stop. Yeah, that's mine.
You learn a lot about yourself in your 20s, don't you? People say that is the decade that you probably... You kind of... it's...
I don't know, like, but people then say, like, your 30s, they're like, that actually that's when you start to, like, love yourself a bit more.
It's because you 20s, know yourself better.
Yeah, maybe.
By the time you're 30, in theory, you know yourself better. You've been through some, hopefully, successes, but also some challenges. You've come out the other side of it. Usually, people are in a much better financial situation in their 30s than they are in their 20s.
Yeah, so then you spend the money on yourself.
I think
more.
Also from the 3 years that I've been in my 30s, you give much less of a shit about what people think about you.
Well, I posted something the other day. Look, I think literally yesterday or this morning on Instagram, it's like, stop giving a shit about what people think about you.
People are going to judge you anyway, so you might as well do what you want.
Yeah. So yeah, like, love yourself more. That's my one. What's yours? What?
I was just looking at your microphone.
Oh.
Mine would be go to Ibiza.
Oh, that's so good. You thought about that already. I had thought of
that one.
Did you jot that down so you
didn't forget? I didn't write it down. But my 3 words to my 20-year-old self would be go to Ibiza. Because the first time I went to Ibiza, I was 27.
Also, it is a money thing with Ibiza. Again, like, you're more financially, you have more money, and Ibiza costs a lot more than, like, Magaluf.
Yeah, it's not a cheap pop over with the lads or ladies kind of holiday. But I would just I thought this in 2014, in the first year that I ever came here. One of the very early memories that I had of that year is, why have I waited this long to come here? Like, maybe I had my own thoughts about what Ibiza was and the kinds of people that would go there and the sorts of things that just happen in Ibiza.
We're the kind of people that go.
Yeah.
But like what your parents have said all week.
We've joked all week with all these lovely things that we've gone and done, walks and little secluded places, sunrises, sunsets, great food, all this Dolt Via, old town culture bits that are all lovely. We've joked the whole time but don't forget, Ibiza is only about nightclubs. And it's not. Ibiza is so much more than that. It just so happens that it also is amazing for that.
Yeah, and they make the island a shit ton of money, so...
Yeah, so we need it to come back.
We kind of need it to come back, but it is not the only thing that, is here. So, come for the culture.
It's just a lovely place to be anyway.
Go north, live the dream.
Nice.
That's a good question. Who was that from?
That was from Jazz, yeah.
Jazz.
And I liked that
Did I get one from Jazz Gad too? I don't know. Oh, I think I did, but I think I left it on Instagram. I'll go and check in a second. I've got a few questions. We've been talking a lot this week. We talked last week about our barbecue that we had, and it was quite an epic barbecue. And we may have drank quite a lot, and we may have had big hangovers. So we have now planned another one, basically.
Well, again, followers of our content will know we love a barbecue, whether it's just the two of us or whether we invite some friends around. We're kind of getting quite good at it.
I do like to host.
You are a good host.
Thank you.
So we've had some questions. What about?
Yeah, because we have now planned a barbecue for Halloween.
See,
which is next Saturday.
Yes.
We've invited a few people over, staying within the limits of the law.
Absolutely.
So we've had some questions from Jess from Ibiza, Jess Metcalf, and she has said, "Any plans for a Halloween outfit?"
Well, Jess, good question. We've been talking about this week. Yes, we are hosting a little bit of a get-together at ours, as you say, within the law. And it happens to...
You're the only people that all of us ever see.
Yeah,
actually,
we only have a friendship group of six people. So that's it. So it just so happens that this date lands on Halloween, on a full moon, and it's the weekend.
Saturday.
So it's just a lot of coincidences have just sort of lined up.
It's a coinky-dink.
It's a coinky-dink. But we have said we don't want it to be a Halloween party. Like, people don't need to come as like Frankenstein Halloween or anything like that. But we can't get away from the fact that it is Halloween and it's a full moon, and it would be fun to do a little bit. So we've said, well, we've been sending invites to people. You've been creating media.
I've been creating artwork
and sending it to
posters,
our guests,
basically, like event posters.
And only yesterday you sent them their all black everything
dress code, because then it's easier, so you can just morticia up and you don't have to do an outfit or a fancy dress or face paint. Just wear black,
all black,
easy peasy squeezy,
which I think will be fun and that'd be good. Having said that, I this week am on a mission to try and source one of those morph suits.
Yes.
So if anybody doesn't know what those are, those full head to toe
lycra,
full body lycra with no eye holes, no nothing.
And you're going to be okay wearing that?
I think I'll be okay for a little while wearing it. I want a full black one. Then we made the joke that I could just cut one hand off of that. Mm-hmm. And so I've got one hand and wrist available, and I could just be the hand from the Addams Family.
Which I thought was really funny.
I think
and
that's
you could
really
just
good.
serve yourself on a silver platter.
Because I can basically stand in the dark just doing hand gestures.
Oh yeah, I bet you would.
That'd be fun.
That's exactly what
you do. So no strict Halloween
Halloween
dress
outfits.
code. Just wear black, and I think that'll be fun.
She did also ask, are you drinking Yerbas again?
I'll tell you what, I will drink some Yerbas if I can get my hands on it. And Ed hasn't finished it all before I need
We
some.
do need a break glass in case of Ed thing going
Yerbas is the Ibiza spirit. It's made here. It's local to the island.
It's gin based.
It is gin based.
Juniper based.
But it's very aniseedy. And we liked it anyway. But since living here, we've learned how great it's very easy to drink a lot of.
So basically, the only reason we knew it before is that at the end of the meal, you often get a free round of shots, and it's normally
it comes with a bill.
Yerbas, and you drink it, and it's nice, and everyone's really happy with it. Since we moved here and we've been hanging out with Eduardo a little more, he has told us you just drink it. You can just drink it on ice.
Yeah, it can be a slow
like
drink.
a Baileys.
Yeah.
So we have been doing that, but that also leads you to drinking a lot more of it.
And this is the thing,
that's not safe.
You tend to drink it. It's not what you drink all night.
No,
it tends to be something you move on to.
Yeah.
Which means you're already a little bit wobbly, and then you realise that yes, you can drink it slow, but it's actually very nice, and so it goes down quite quick.
Yeah.
And so you're drinking it very easily, but it's a spirit.
What percentage is Yerbas?
I think it's like 30 something.
Oh, okay. So it's like
quite,
above an Archer's,
but it's not quite like
a
vodka or a gin or anything.
Right.
So it's high enough that if you just sit there and plough
drink
through
a whole bottle.
Yeah, Eduardo.
And then the last one from Jess, which goes back to your parents' visits. What do you think Tiffany Bennett's favourite and worst things about having your parents stay are?
What do I think?
What do you think I like the most and hate the most about your parents coming here?
Okay, all right. Oh, I don't think you hate anything.
Not hate, but that's not what the question is, but I have to make it obvious.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime.
I know that you enjoy hosting. You do just like to have people here and to be able to sort of make sure that they have a nice time and show them our world and things like that. You also like that when there are guests here, there's a good chance we're going to go and have lovely food every day. And that's your favourite thing to do in the world. It means that you can read more menus.
True that.
In preparation. I think, as you've said already, the thing that you like the least is that you can't really feel like you can shut off because you just naturally constantly feel in host mode.
I think that's the same for any visitor though.
Like, it doesn't matter who it is.
I don't want like your mum and dad to look at this and go, oh.
No, same.
But actually, anybody who comes, I feel the same.
And it's not even that they have to be staying with us. If someone is here, if someone came around now and wanted to spend the rest of the evening here, you would suddenly...
You don't switch off.
You would kick into, okay, well, then I really need to worry about what are they going to eat and what are we all going to eat. And if we're going to watch something, what are we watching? Because I need to make sure our guest is enjoying that.
Yeah.
And are they happy?
Is the place tidy enough?
Yeah. And
that's really true.
It's just your natural host instinct kicks in, which is a lovely thing. And I think, but it must be stressful for you.
There's going to be like, I think Thursday and Friday, there's going to be a bit like a scurry here because obviously we're having people around on Saturday. And so now in my mind, I'm like, well, the house has to be right. Like, we've got to get shit up on the wall.
The reality is everyone's going to be so blind drunk they won't see it anyway.
Yeah, trying to steal your bike.
No one's touching my bike.
Not this time. But they were good questions. Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, thanks, Jess.
Appreciate that one. That was really good.
I've got so following the podcast with my parents last week, I think we gained quite a lot of new listeners.
True.
Via my mother.
Your mum is an influencer.
Well, she is, and she doesn't even know it. So because she talks via an app called You, I think, she talks to quite a lot of people around the world, sharing what she's up to with daily pictures and things like that. Is that what that is? Yeah. But there are a lot of people that she's never met in person. But because she was on the podcast last week, we have people who potentially are listening this week, who are new to us.
Hi, everyone.
One of them is Junie from LA.
God, we got international.
Yeah, absolutely. So if Junie's listening, hi, I hope LA is doing well. Yeah. What's a challenging experience that now, much later, you can see the humour in? Which I think is a really good question.
And we were told this days ago, and I still don't have
I've got my answer for this.
Can you go? Because then I might gain inspiration.
That, to me, I read into this as a moment that at the time was not funny. But now you can look back and go, no one died, so it is actually kind of funny. My example for this one, or my story, is when we saw Coldplay on New Year's Eve in Abu Dhabi.
That's such a good one.
So you were there, so we'll use it for both of us.
No, okay.
Unless you get a better one.
Well, you can tell the story while I pour more wine, and you need to drink more wine.
Yeah, well, I just need to keep up with you.
So now we see what happens if we have a Magnum, like the share level.
This is, I think, a good test. It's a good example of who drinks most of the wine. And I think it's quite clearly my wife. So, the story of seeing Coldplay at New Year's Eve in Abu Dhabi. Just a precursor to this. It's the best gig I've ever been to in my life.
You cried a lot.
I cried all the way through, I believe. I'm a big fan of Coldplay. You're not.
I am not.
Coldplay were announced as doing the New Year's Eve party in Abu Dhabi. It's a great, when we were living there, it's a great venue. We were familiar with it anyway. And it was like, we cannot miss this. We got tickets to it.
We never said that.
I said we cannot miss this.
So I got tickets to it.
You were a very good wife and said, okay, I'll come along and I'll do it. You've openly said in the lead up to it, you were like, I'm just going to have to get through this. It's not going to be that great, but I'll do it for him because you're a good wife. Thank you so much. I'm lucky to have you. But anyway, long story short, you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, there was lots of beer.
There was a lot of beer, and Coldplay Live are
It was
incredible.
very fun. We had all the light up bracelets, la 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 la.
Anyway, come the end of the gig, because they did it past midnight, they did the countdown to midnight. So it was probably gone 1, close to 2 before we're really leaving the venue anyway.
1 o'clock.
And Abu Dhabi, Yas Island had not really figured out how to get all of these people into taxis and off the island and back home. We were stood in the street outside the venue with thousands of other people, all desperately trying to get the taxis that are going past, and none of them are available or stopping or anything. And so by, say, 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm just guessing...
We were definitely there for a couple of hours, yeah.
You were on the phone to the 4 or 5 hotels in the area, within walking distance, on that island, desperately trying to find any available room. Now, bear in mind, it's New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, an available room in the capital.
An available room next to a venue that's just done a Coldplay gig. And so you found one room available. We didn't care how much it cost. It cost way too much. I found out how much it cost. Did we discuss this in the week? 8?
No. It was way less than we thought it was.
6?
But still a lot of money.
4?
No. It was like, I think it was like 2,500 dirham. We thought it was like 8,000 dirham, and we've been playing this story
have we?
as because I checked. I don't know if I checked, but I saw something.
Okay.
And it showed me how much that room was.
Either way, that's a £500 room.
Yeah, £500 room in Abu Dhabi for... You were on the early at work the next day, so it's for 3 hours.
3 hours. We weren't prepared to stay overnight, so we just slept fully dressed.
Oh, God, and then I got the most dangerous taxi home that day because it was fog.
Really foggy because it's the winter.
And he'd been working for, he was like, I've been working for 18 hours. I'm like, great, drive me home to the other side of Abu Dhabi, please.
So anyway, that at the time was not funny.
No, I cried.
Just an awful experience and ruined the night at the time. But now I can look back and laugh because...
That's a really
it hasn't tainted the fact that it was the best concert I've ever been to. Coldplay counted down to midnight. We had a lot of fun. And, so we spent way too much money on sleeping somewhere for 3 hours. Who cares? That's a really, really good one. I think the thing I thought about for me was getting stuck in Saudi and little things like that. That's a good example.
Beginning of coronavirus, getting stuck in Saudi for way longer than I was supposed to be there.
And it did get to the point where we did wonder whether you would actually ever leave Saudi. So for people that don't know, I was in Riyadh for a project, and we were working. I was doing an event in Riyadh, and it was this big horse racing event, which was kind of what I liked anyway, because I'd lived in that area in the UK. So I was on this project, and we got to the end of it, and things. Actually, it was the day before the event where kind of coronavirus came about, and we were like 2 or 3 days before, and loads of guests weren't coming, loads of high end. We've built this structure. We've built multiple structures for these people to turn up and have VIP hospitality, and then they're not coming. So that was it. Was the end of? I think it was the end of March. I don't know. No, it wasn't
February. End of February.
Because we were in lockdown in March.
Okay, end of February. February. That's right. And then so it all came about, and then obviously we have to dismantle after the 3-day event. So it's not like we can all just sack it off and leave. So we were all on site, and I just kept extending my stay, because I was just obviously helping out with the whole project management side of it and the admin side of it, and I was in the office loads and just helping everybody. And then it just started getting more serious.
Yeah. And
we were like, oh, actually, am I going to get back to Dubai? And it was really, really stressful because I was Natalie and Bruglia torn.
I hate that. I hate that you always say that fucking stupid saying.
I was torn. I was torn, do I finish this project or do I go back? Because obviously you're in an apartment on your own.
Saudi was one of the first countries in the world to just go, we're just closing.
Oh, they
shut the borders. No one in, no one out.
And do you know what? I read online today that Saudi Airlines, the national airline of Saudi, is only starting their flights on the 1st of November. So they shut super early, the 1st of March, and they're only starting people can only. Oh yeah, it was really heavy lockdown. But yeah, I got out 2 days before. No flights got out. Unless you're on a private jet.
Perfect example of...
But now I look back and go, what a great experience.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it doesn't ruin your Saudi experience.
Not at all, no.
But that's because it was very stressful at the time, but you can look back and go, it was close, but it didn't ruin the experience.
And I'm geared up, ready to go back next year.
Yeah, we've been saying.
If they'll take me.
If the opportunity comes again...
I would go back.
You would go back and do the same project in Saudi next year? Yeah. Well, here's hoping that you can...
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, that's a really good question and like well thought out. I feel like a proper adult sent that.
That was Junie in LA.
Nice.
Thanks, Junie.
Talking of your mum's followers.
Oh, thanks, mum's followers. Yeah. And thanks, mum.
Thanks, Chris. I've got a question from Wendy. Wendy Bell.
Wendy. Do you know what? I feel as if I know Wendy. Because
her name is Wendy Bell. So I also now think of Wendy's and Taco Bell.
Oh, well, I thought you might think of Wendy from Peter Pan and Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, no, I went for food.
What a shock. I went Disney and you went food.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy Bell. She sounds like a person I want to know.
Yeah, me too. But it's quite a long question. There's a bit of an explanation behind it, but I like it.
Go.
Would you ever consider helping people who may want to buy a property in Ibiza? She knows a lady in France who does this. Basically, she arranges properties to view in advance and they kind of stay with her or in one of her properties while they do this search. So do you know like we did in Abu Dhabi when we went there and someone showed us around and like you did like this is the local area, schools, bars, whatever. And she said, oh, it's a great idea. If people wanted to buy in Ibiza, would you basically host them and then show them around the different areas and possibly properties as well?
Fantastic question. And well, I mean, we've never discussed it as a sort of a profession or a career or
business
something.
venture.
But we talked when we went to Abu Dhabi about how good you would be at that kind of thing.
Yeah, we did.
Because we had only been, when we moved to Abu Dhabi, we had never been there before. We obviously did our preview trip, but we moved to a country that we'd never been to before. And within weeks, you had connections, you knew places, you knew deals, you knew the best places to go.
I helped your little staff team out, didn't I?
You did loads.
I made a little newsletter.
But again, you do a similar thing here in that it's just because you don't even think about it. You are passionate about and excited about, I want to know what's available here. You mainly based around food because you love food.
Food and music. If there was music this year, I'd be like...
entertainment.
Yeah.
You love that kind of thing. So, I mean, would we consider doing it? I would say we kind of already do. If somebody messaged you now... We just don't make money out of it. No, we don't make money. So, Wendy, if you've got an idea about how we can monetize this idea... But if someone messaged you now and said, I'm moving to Ibiza next year, can you give me some suggestions on this, this and this? You would absolutely go, not a problem. Here's what I think. Here's what you should do. You could try. And I'm not saying I'm suddenly opening up our house to host people and be like, you can stay here and then we'll show you the island. Because as we've already been through, it's our house and we quite like to not have to have people here 24/7.
But also, how much money could you make?
Well, exactly. Wendy, good question. We're going to keep that door open.
I feel like we're going to build on that and make something from it. But... If it was our friends, for example...
It stems from the fact that you just love looking into places.
But I think I just do it naturally, like
you do.
On Facebook.
You don't have to think about it.
Or, like on social media, I'm just like, oh, this is happening. I screenshot it and send it to our little friend group and I just go, oh, well, this is on for the winter. Remember this. And I only put it in the group so that I can then go back in the media and go, I remember, this is where's a good Sunday roast. And remembering things because I like...
You like nice places and nice things.
Nice places,
like to do nice things.
But I also, I don't ever want to be like bored. And so if I know that there's somewhere to go...
Listen, you told me to catch up, so I'm catching up.
That was a 4.5. Oh my God. If anyone is listening just in your ears, just go to YouTube now at the same timestamp and just have a look at what's just happened.
I need a pint glass.
I do just like knowing what's available. Should you go, shall we go for a Sunday roast? What's available in December? Do you know what I mean?
But you are that kind of person that you would be the person that I would ask, and you'd go, well, I know that X, Y, and Z is available.
Yeah.
Because you are interested. It wouldn't be a job to you. It's a hobby. I've joked before. I joked in our wedding vows that, like, it annoys me. It doesn't annoy me. I actually love it. But you read menus for a hobby. Even in restaurants that will never eat it.
QR menus are the best things. I can just save bookmarks in my browser. I've not saved a single one.
I think it's time you started.
But I actually think I could make a list. That would be amazing. I think QR menus are here to stay. And I hope they are, because I just want to have them. If I just search my history now, I could get.
There is no need for QR menus to go away. I think I
thought you were going the other way.
No. I think once COVID and coronavirus is all done and finished and over with, whenever that may be, I think QR menus are something that should stay and probably will. But I also think that will make the physical menu something that's novel again.
It's like luxury.
It will be.
Imagine, so I like obviously a wine list as well, and they normally, if you're in a nice restaurant, they come like leather bound, like really nice. And so actually the physicality of that will be delightful.
Years from now,
but I'm happy with QR.
Years from now, people will go to a restaurant, be handed a physical menu, and go. They will be that. I'm holding it.
Yeah,
like, it'll be nice.
You can touch things again.
It is that one thing. Obviously, it's the perfect excuse right now. But at the beginning of a meal, a group of people are sat at the table and everyone's staring at their phones.
But it's not in that way.
Obviously, that is because they're reading the menu.
Yeah.
But how if you took a picture or a snapshot of a group of friends at a table, that it's so quickly and easy.
Nobody
can look
judges
like
if you look at a menu, do they?
No.
In real life.
And that's all that you're actually doing on your phone.
Yeah.
But how that looks and how that's perceived is, look at that lot
Especially
of people all on their
older
phones.
Generation, I think.
Yeah, it's probably
what
weird.
What did we say earlier? They're all going to die out soon enough.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
Eventually, the people that knew all of this old-fashioned stuff like physical menus, they'll all be dead soon anyway.
They'll all be dead. I have a question for you. If you had a rosé and you could name it, what would your brand of rosé be called?
I would call it Pose.
I've just recorded that and sent that to Emma because she's the one that asked it. Emma from Dubai.
If you could
love you and miss you.
Name your own rosé.
If you were able to bring out your own brand of rosé, what would it be called?
Pose Rosé. And I would insist it would go viral on social media because it would be about posing with your bottle and or glass.
I like it.
So I would call it Pose Rosé.
Wow.
That straight off the top of my head. I should work in marketing.
No, you shouldn't.
Rosé, because everyone
Wine.
because
wine.
Because no one likes having inhibitions.
That's really good. Oh dear.
If a disaster befell your house and you had
Hold on, how old was the person that asked this question? Who says befell?
Don't be rude. If a disaster befell the house and you could save one thing for each other, not for yourself, what would it be? So what are you?
Incredible.
So
I'd save your bike.
Nice, well done and well played. Tifla would save my bike.
I think that's probably the best thing for you, no?
I would save for you that box of your childhood memories.
Oh yeah, we haven't even unpacked that yet. Yeah, I've got a full box of memories there. That's a good one. I
liked it when that came through because I think we've previously talked about what's your favourite thing in the house and like what would you save if ever. But I liked that it was like, well, what would you save for me and what would I? So are you happy that that's what I save?
Yeah, I thought you were going to save the picture of my mum and dad. And that was probably a close second. Yeah. But there's plenty of memories in there.
We basically right now we have one sort of box. Well, that's what
which
it is.
I haven't even
opened
myself yet.
It's like a crate kind of thing that came in the delivery from Dubai. Oh. And the only thing that's in it is basically memory boxes and the equivalent of memory jars from that you did as a child and growing up and things. So
and I don't keep things.
No, you don't.
I'm
what is in there is definitely sentimental.
Yeah, I'm really ruthless in things that I don't take to a new country.
I would save that for you.
Oh, that's really nice.
And you're saving my bike.
Good.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah, good choice.
Should I save anything else?
No, I don't think so.
It was either like bike or watches, so I don't really know.
Oh, yeah, the watches. My sunglass collection.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is it. They
are, oh God, that makes it sound so materialistic.
Well,
actually, no, you sound materialistic. I've got memories.
What? No, shut up. Listen to what you like. I have said that I wouldn't want you to save that. I agree with you that the bike is the thing to save. I was about to say, we do have some very nice things, but I like that our options are not materialistic.
A bike is quite materialistic.
I don't think so, because that represents far more than just, a nice thing. My bike is probably, other than you, my favourite thing in this entire house.
Thank you for saying other than you.
Because, it makes me happy.
But I have my old school reports.
For fuck's sake.
Tiffany is
an exemplary student. And that's the thing. If a fire ripped through here, you want to be able to have those memories about how great a student you were when you were 8 years old. So we agree?
Yeah.
That was from my dad.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
I know that Dad...
Oh, you started calling your dad Tim this week, and that was great.
I like calling Dad Tim. I call him Dad,
so
Pops, and Tim in equal
amount.
Dad. Sometimes.
But everyone in your family calls him Pops. Like the kids, your sister, even your mum calls him Pops. It's the nickname that's stuck. And so when I call him Tim, I feel really weird, but I can't get my head around calling him Pops.
You don't have to call him Pops.
No, I know. I know.
Please don't. In fact, if anything, I would find that a bit weird that you call him Pops.
Do you think? Would it?
I'd probably get used to it.
Yeah,
I think the first time you do it, when you go, all right, Pops, or do you need to drink, Pops? No, I would find that, I'd be like, oh, you just called him Pops.
In my head, I just don't see that.
Calling him Pops is actually a relatively new thing within the family.
Is it?
It's since the kids...
We've known each other 6 years,
since the kids have been around. Let me just say that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody called him Pops before the grandkids.
It seems like such a thing. Like, everybody calls him Pops, no matter what. And so... Maybe it's just me and Rich. I don't know. Actually, does Rich call him Pops? No.
Fucking hell. If Rich.
No.
This is my brother-in-law, so my sister's husband. He would never, ever call him
Tim then?
Of course he does.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't remember.
I like calling my dad Tim because I think it's kind
funny.
It has a...
But I used to call my dad Gary. I used to be and I was obviously like a child. And you call your dad Gary, and I'm just like, all right, Gary.
I do find it just kind of. I would never do it with my mother.
You never call her Chris. I get confused between.
I think
Chris and Christine, like what I should call her.
I think if I was really going for like a punchline level comical value, I would throw a Christine in there. I'd be like, all right, calm down, Christine.
Oh yeah,
because it's close to Karen. It's close to Karen. Let's be honest. It is all right.
Do not call your mama Karen.
Calm down, Christine. But no, far less than I would ever call my dad
mum's
Tim.
Denise, and that sounds
That's
like
close to Karen. Both of our mothers have got those types of names that it's funny if you add it in the right context.
My mum doesn't listen, so that's fine.
Fucking hell, Denise.
She doesn't.
Get involved.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, that one was from Tim.
Nice one, Tim.
My dad.
Thanks,
who they got home a couple of hours ago and are now in isolation, stuck at home.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Tim works from home.
I recommend that they both go through the archives. I think they should start the podcast from the beginning.
And watch them.
And just tell us. I would love their review on how we've evolved.
I think they should watch them with snacks together.
They don't do any podcast together.
No, they listen separately, which is absolutely fine, obviously. But imagine if they did. Also, we've realised your dad only watches a movie once. Who watches a movie only once?
Oh, well, this is what we learnt this week. I learnt about my father this week.
Here's the thing.
I've known him 33 years. I've known him quite literally my entire life, right? And yet every time I spend time with him, I learn something new.
He is
something I learned
gem.
this week is that my dad genuinely doesn't believe that he's ever seen any film, asterisk, any film more than one time.
Who wants to know what
so
the asterisk
we
is?
obviously challenged that, and I went, Dad, that's utter horse shit. No.
Sorry, that was really loud.
No humour. What do you mean you've never seen a film more than once? And he was, oh, well, you know, I like to not know what's happening. If I've seen it once, I don't need to see it again. I pushed him and I challenged him.
You did
Dad,
challenge.
that's shit. What film have you seen more than once? Do you know what my dad's answer was? Toy Story.
And there we have our emoji for the week. Send us the cowboy.
Oh, the cowboy. Is there a cowboy?
There's an emoji with a cowboy hat.
Is there?
I hope there is.
You are going to have to check that because I'm not familiar.
There is a cowboy.
So yeah,
if you type in cowboy, there's an emoji with a cowboy hat.
Okay, so it's a face, it's a smile.
Just type in cowboy.
Yeah. Move on. We want the cowboy hat.
You're welcome, Tim.
Yeah. Cheers, Tim. You inspired the emoji this week.
He'll be happy.
He'll be the first person who'll send it through as well.
True. Unless it's John McGovern.
Speaking of the vegan.
Oh, fuck's sake.
John McGovern.
Why does he feature? I feel like we need a little... Do you know when people have segments? And they have like the vegan segment? It's like, oh, I like kale.
Do you know what? It kind of... It annoys me. Because, I mean, you know what my relationship with John is, that I obviously love him to bits. He's probably up there.
You did randomly call him the other night, which was fun.
And he's wonderful. And
he's also got pink hair now.
He's very up there as one of my favourite humans. But I also... I hate that he gets the amount of attention.
So much airtime, doesn't he?
Attention, because he's a dick.
He is.
He's and yet every podcast we talk about him. The day he features on this podcast,
I just want him. Can you just fly over for like a pod?
I think he needs to.
Crack on, mate.
Anyway, he messaged me just as we were setting up the podcast today to let us know that in Canada they've just had their first snow, or at least in Vancouver. I'm not going to say that.
Delightful.
And so I sent him a picture back of the setup, saying...
We should have sent him a picture of the salt. I was like, we've just had our first salt.
And I just said, like, well, we're literally just about to start. And he was like, oh, all right. If he could, via WhatsApp, I think he would have cracked his knuckles and gone, all right, let's do this then. So I know he has sent me things.
Before you start... I need you to drink more because you are falling behind.
I need you to drink less because you are a raging alcoholic.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it. So I've seen that questions have come through from the vegan, at least 3. And
could have been 40.
I don't know what they are. Question for you both. Do you both plan to buy property in Ibiza? I'm on that journey right now in Vancouver. I know that you've only just got your stuff. Ha ha.
Our life goal, drink up. I will explain this.
Okay, you talk for a while.
We've got a very strong vision of what we want in Ibiza, and it is going to take us longer to get there than we realised. But we will. Our goal is to have a villa that we rent out in the summer and live in the winter, and then have an apartment that we live in the summer and rent out in the winter, possibly. So we also, now that I'm just like self-employed, we've realised that we need 3 years of like documentation for that to be able to have a mortgage. So therefore, we basically just need to stockpile money. Mm-hmm. We need to save. We need to have vision board, whatever we like, and we will get there. It's just going to take a bit longer than we realise. In the UK, we already have a property. We do possibly want to buy another one to start getting that, like, what's it called? Passive income, to then just grow our monies. And we're not rich in any sense of the word. We don't have massive savings. Like, people, we are very, very kind of normal in that sense. But that is a goal that we are always in the back of our heads. We are always working towards that no matter what.
It's what we really long term. It's what we came here to do.
Yeah.
And we feel, in a way, very lucky and privileged that we were able to get here as soon as we did. Because even Mum said on last week's podcast, she knew Ibiza was a long-term, or as she said, sort of like the pipe dream. It was what we wanted to get to.
I think a pipe dream, though, is like a dream that
a pipe
isn't
dream.
Gonna happen.
I think the definition of a pipe dream is like an unrealistic goal.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what my mum thought or meant.
Well, no, maybe she did.
But maybe she did. Maybe she thought it's what they want to do, but they may never do it.
Don't see that coming.
Anyway, we've said before, we've got hit probably earlier than we thought initially that we would.
We had to,
which is good. So we're on the ground, we know the place, and now it's time, as you say, to start grafting and working so that we can own a place here and then continue the goal.
So you've got to stop buying so much rosé.
Stop buying all the rosé and stop eating out.
Yeah. Chill winters. Yeah, good. So that goal is always a goal, and we've looked on the right move equivalent here, and looked at villas. Go on Idealista if you want to, see some incredible villas. We have goals, and we know what we want, and it will happen. We have to always just remind ourselves of that and why we're here and what we're doing.
I'm reading 4 Hour Work Week again, which is one of the books that inspired us to do what we're doing now. And it talks about setting unrealistic goals. The more unrealistic or the harder it seems, the better the goal. Because then when you break it down and you do start making the steps towards it, the ambition and the motivation is there. If your goal is to do something that's relatively easily achievable, actually the motivation isn't there, because you go, well, I can do that by working really hard for 1 week. Yeah. Whereas we know to do what we want to do, we're going to have to work hard for a while. Yeah. I'm really excited for John, because he's obviously on this journey himself right now. I didn't know they were looking to buy. Yeah, they're looking, and I know he's umming and ahhing about location of like being in the city or being outside the city, and obviously the price difference is massive. And Vancouver is one of the most expensive places in the world to buy property, other than probably Ibiza and Dubai. Like, we've chosen fairly expensive places to live, but go big or go home.
This is home.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good point.
That's a good question, though. That is a good question.
His other two questions were, what was the best thing about having your parents with you for 2 weeks? It wasn't for 2 weeks, it was for a week and a day. Was the amount of food that we went and ate. Great. Absolutely. Great and meals. Spending time with mum and dad. Yeah. What's the most annoying thing about having your parents with you?
So that's basically the same questions.
Which is...
What is the most annoying thing for you for having your parents?
Well, they don't annoy me. The only thing that...
Do you know what I love? Sorry, I'm going to butt in. But do you know when your dad starts to drink?
But that's not annoying, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious because your mum gets annoyed.
Mum gets very annoyed with Tim. Yeah, calm down, Tim.
But I love it. And I think we probably get like that, which is brilliant. And it's just like, oh, he's off on one again.
They're a little vision about like what we'll look like 30 years from now.
You look exactly like him.
Fuck off.
You do. You look identical. If you, like, what... Walking behind you and you're both walking on the beach, you're like, you are the same person. Like, you are so similar.
Well, it's evidence that I'm definitely his then.
Where did that come from?
Shows that mum wasn't, scooting off with the milkman.
I don't even know what to say.
It's evidence that, I'm clearly genetically related to Tim.
Of course you are. You're the same person.
Well, there you go.
Oh my goshness.
Good to know.
Can we pause because I really need a wee?
Oh, we're doing it again. Well, we did this last time that we did a big.
Really need a wee.
All right. We are going to pause, ladies and gentlemen. No. I like that we did this.
Oh.
We're going to pause very quickly. There's going to be a very quick.
Benny Hill music.
Yeah, something like that. And we will see you momentarily after Tiflar has had a wee. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How was your wee?
I don't like talking about that.
It was me that broke it last time. It was me that was like, we're going to have to stop and go for a wee.
Yeah, needed. I just think, like, I'd rather concentrate on the conversation
than sit there needing a wee.
Yeah, because it does.
Because when you need a wee, you really need a wee, don't you?
Yeah, when you're 3/4 of a bottle.
I think I learnt from QI that many years ago that the feeling of needing a wee, it prompts the same sort of like fight or flight kind of.
Does it now?
Yeah, like the same hormone that sort of is like an emergency is happening.
It is an emergency.
So apparently the best thing to do, that's not going to help anyone, is it? The best thing to do to stop that feeling, the physical feeling of needing a wee, is to not jiggle around. But you can't stop jiggling around because your body is going, you need to do something here. It's like a fight or flight feeling.
That is interesting. I've also had a really interesting thought because I've just poured my wine in and it's not the coldest. And I thought, let's have an ice cube. But then I thought that's going to water it down. But what if you made ice cubes out of like the Casera water, which is the fizzy water, and it would cool it down, but also sweeten
flavouring
it up?
Yeah.
Or if you made like Sprite ice cubes.
Do carbonated drinks freeze well?
Carbonated will, but I don't know if
I don't think I've ever frozen something fizzy.
Well. Would they unfreeze well? Would it be flat if it unfroze?
I have no idea. Either someone's going to have to tell us via the comments, or we're going to have to do it.
But I thought that. Do you know when people...
I've never frozen anything fizzy.
When people make coffee into ice cubes so that when they have an iced coffee, they don't water it down, they just add more coffee.
It's a great idea.
Thank you.
People do it with gravy, don't they?
Gravy ice cubes, that is a thing.
Because
it's like stock.
Well, when you make proper gravy because you've cooked an amazing like meat, and the gravy is proper gravy, not like Bisto or Oxo or anything like that. It's proper gravy, but you haven't used it all. The best thing to do is to put it in an ice cube tray, and next time you have a Sunday roast,
melt that shit up.
I believe is what they say.
I did the marketing
for the Sunday roast.
Absolutely.
For globally, the Sunday roast, you wrote the marketing. Universally, melt that shit.
Melt that shit up.
Nice. Nicely
done. I'm going to talk about the excitement that is incoming.
Okay. We do a lot of talking about what's happened. Yeah. Let's talk about the future.
I'm very excited. Let's talk about the future.
Okay.
Because my gym is coming.
Yes, it is.
Some of it is here.
It is.
How exciting on. My gym flooring got up our gym flooring.
You're going to use it more than I do.
The gym flooring got delivered today.
Yes. So again, for any new listeners or people who are like, what do you mean your gym? We've talked about it on the YouTube channel a lot.
And you'll see it this week, so we will film.
We're going to be doing a vlog this week. Yeah. Spoiler alert. We have talked about using our back patio area and turning it into a home gym. We've already got some equipment, a bit more turned up today, more turns up this week. So yeah, you're going to have a nice little gym set up in the back garden.
I'm so excited. I just feel like if you've got a full setup, you're excited to train. I want to train again. Like, it's been a long time and I haven't lifted away. Yeah, I've been on walks and hikes and a couple of runs and things like that. But actually, I loved going to CrossFit.
You are less about cardio and you are much more about picking heavy shit up, aren't you?
And then putting it back down. Yeah.
I
loved CrossFit.
You can't carry it around forever.
And so I just want to get out there and have our little gym and pick up a bar and then put it back down and live the dream. And you're excited about
No,
gym
I
workout,
really am
right?
actually, because
got you a bench.
Yeah, and I am actually. I'm not the biggest gym goer. My exercise, any kind of calorie burn of any kind has always been to get on the bike and just ride for a couple of hours, and that's my thing. I do want to get into doing that more. I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. I don't know what it is, but if I don't want to, I'm not going to. And so it's kind of this motivation thing. But I feel as if this coming week, we've said before, haven't we, that the only thing that we had coming up after moving here was getting a place to live, getting our delivery sent, and mum and dad visiting.
And so actually
there's nothing planned now.
We've not been in a real routine.
No routine.
Because obviously my job's been really stressful for the past month and now it's not, so that's taken that away. All of our visitors have been, so now we don't have any of those. All our stuff is here, so we have no life admin stress. So November is our perfect, and I know we'll probably talk about this next week because it'll be like the day before, but November is our perfect time to just go, right, knuckle down.
Yeah.
And you said over the past couple of days, you've been like, let's get ready for next summer. Let's just fucking do it. And that's, I've got like 7 months. Yeah,
I've got 7 months
of just like...
Think what you can achieve.
What can you do in 7 months?
Think about what you can achieve. Too many people go, I'm going to go to the gym because I want to look good 1 month from now. And do you know what? Fair play, and it's good that you're going, and you might be happy with the results that you get in a month. But think what you can achieve with your goal being 6 or 7 months from now. I'm thinking next summer, when the parties are starting again, people are coming over, we're going out to the beach, and it's going to be amazing.
You're going to be an Adonis.
I believe I will be an Adonis. Have you seen Brad Pitt in Troy?
No.
He plays Achilles, and I believe
that's what you're going to go. I need to see this.
You've never seen Troy?
No, it's not something we're going to watch tonight either.
Film.
We've just bought Disney Plus.
If we're over an hour into this podcast now.
It's a 20 though, so we can go over.
We did say that after this we're going to have some food and then watch a film. Right now, what film would you like to watch? What are you feeling?
Something light-hearted, and something that we'd both be really happy with.
Fuck me, how vague are you?
Well, I just,
I want it light-hearted,
I do feel
and
like
I want it to make us both happy.
I think it would be something on the Disney Channel.
Oh, fuck.
But you watched The Good Dinosaur earlier, so I feel I could sway it in my direction.
What? I think that is a massively underrated
Maybe
Pixar.
The original Beauty and the Beast, or maybe... No. I don't know. I'm excited though because we now have this whole world of opportunity in front of us.
Yes, because...
Also, let's talk about what we have been watching, which we're so behind on everyone else, but Handmaid's Tale.
We've been watching Handmaid's Tale.
I am disgusted.
We're in season 2.
We just started season 2, and I know we're behind, but we've had shit going on. And
we haven't had a TV for 6 months.
No, we only just got the TV.
The TV is set up this week, and it's wonderful.
And so, I'm disgusted. I'm angry. I feel like it's a real thing. I know it's not, but it's kind of Black Mirror-y, isn't it?
We said this week because, we are watching it. We talked about it with Mum and Dad. They don't watch it, but I know my sister does. And I know a few people that do that are like, you just keep watching it. And it is Black Mirror-y because as weird and as sort of out of the world it feels, considering what's happening in the world with weird elections and power struggles and all sorts of things.
Oh, yeah.
You can't rule out something similar happening in the future because
That's scary.
Because if you've got people that have that strong opinion and they are that powerful, what is to stop shit like that happening? So people who are watching or have watched that will know what we're talking about right now. People who haven't, go and watch it. We're not going to spoil it. And I'm glad no one's ever spoiled it for me because I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a really good program. But fuck me, that's a bit deep.
Oh, it's so deep.
So deep. So yes, I'm with you. Let's watch something a little more light-hearted.
Light-hearted. We maybe save Coco till next week because, Halloween.
Love Coco. Great Pixar.
But now we've got proper Netflix back, and it's weird being in this country now because you get different Netflix. You get different Amazon Prime. You just get different things.
So something off of Disney then.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so I've got just random podcast questions.
What have you done?
I've Googled podcast questions.
Okay, cool.
Oh, no, where did it go? How do I close this? Oh, my God. What is one thing that people often misunderstand about you?
People think that I am extroverted, and I'm definitely not.
That is true. You're definitely not.
I'm definitely an introvert, and I have learned probably over the last few years that that's okay. Introvert is not a negative. It's just that's the type of person that I am. But I think I do a good job of putting a front on when the time is right. So when we meet people or we're out with people and stuff, I'm okay.
You are good at that.
But the genuine reality is, I would, most of the time, rather just sit here with you watching TV.
I think we've possibly asked this before, but do you do more things than you normally would because I want to do them?
Yes.
Is that a problem?
No. No, and I actually think that's part of...
Do you put that back on record?
I believe I did, but you can go and check if you'd like.
I need to check, but answer.
I believe that... No, I think it's a good thing. I think that the fact... I kind of like it. You book things in and you plan things and you like to go and organise places for us to go and things like that. And I think that's good for me, because if I didn't have you doing that, I would likely not do anywhere near the amount of stuff that we do.
I do think, like, I'm the same, because some days I will just lay on the sofa.
If it became the M podcast or the M YouTube channel, it would be very boring, because anything that we ever do that is fun and out there and with people and new, you are likely the person that has found that and organised it. So that's why we're
a good balance,
It is, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Okay, I'm just doing random shit that
I love this.
What's your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure? Weirdly, like I don't ever feel as if there's been a moment in my life where I've failed.
You've never really failed at anything? Like been in a real low spot?
Well, I have, but I wouldn't look at that and go, that's my own failure.
I didn't mean in like mental health kind of way. No, in a career way, actually. No, you've always thrived.
I failed my driving test 4 times. I passed on my 5th.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. That's a good one. I love that.
Honestly, I know why that's an interesting question, but considering where I'm happy in my life where I am right now, anything that I look at, I don't see as a failure, because whatever it was, it got me here.
I see, like we said earlier, like there are so many twists and turns in your life that have got you to where you are, and it's just like that little thing wouldn't have led me to where I am today. Like so many things wouldn't have led me to meet you.
Yep.
And like that's massive. And I get really deep with it. It's like if my people know this obviously, but like if my dad hadn't have died, I wouldn't. That's a fork in my path.
Yep.
Like that's a whole new direction from when I was 12 years old that led me down this road. And if that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have met you. So it's like...
Well, no, you wouldn't.
Well, no,
there's no
exactly.
even probably. You just wouldn't.
So it's so interesting because I can get really deep into it.
It's a web, isn't it?
Turns.
Because if we'd chosen to do this podcast earlier in the day, something will or won't happen. If we had said, let's not bother, I don't know, going to Ibiza this year and we'll just put it back a year, then something
else would have happened.
Well, we wouldn't have met the new friends that we've got, and who knows where that might lead us. And
that's so true.
Like every decision and
it can get real deep, but it could also just get really nice when you think about
unless
those things.
you're in a dark and sort of miserable place, which I know some people may feel that they are right now, it's very hard to look and go, that's where I failed. Because I don't see... I've obviously failed at lots of things, and I've had days that are very dark, or I've had days that feel like they weren't very positive, or all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But I don't see any of them, and I think this is a very healthy mental health place to be in. I don't see any of them as failures. I just see them as really part of the journey that takes me to where I am now.
Nice.
Good questions. Keep going, Tiff.
I'm smashing them.
Tiflar is smashing the question.
Who are the 3 most influential people to you?
Influential?
The whole question is, who are the 3 people who have been the most influential to you?
Well, you.
Am I influential?
Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. Because I think probably in the last question that we just talked about, how I'm a bit introverted, but you like to find things for us to go out and do.
I don't think I'm an extrovert.
You don't have to be, but what you do influences the decisions that I would make, which I think is good.
But in your whole life?
Yeah. You're my wife. You're pretty significant in my life, love.
I'm just like, Jesus. Are you sure? Are you sure that's what you mean?
I'm going to merge my parents together as one person, obviously. As like my second choice of the influential people in my life, because obviously they taught me to be who I am.
Thanks, guys.
My third is Lord Jesus Christ.
JC. I'm like, can I turn that into Jamiroquai?
No,
How can I do that?
No, it's not. I just literally just tried to pick a person because I can't pick a third. Is
there no one that really influences you? Like even like Steve Jobs. I know it's like people, like just someone in your life that go, oh, like Gary Vee. Like there must be someone that just goes, actually, I look at that person, I go, what a lad, or whatever.
I'm gonna pick. Okay, good example. I thought it would have to be like within people that I know.
Whoever.
Okay, so you, my parents, and...
I thought he was going to sack off your parents for someone else.
No, I'm keeping them. I mean, let's be honest. Parents are quite influential on everybody's lives because they raise you. Steve Jobs is a good example, not just because I work for Apple, but because his book is amazing, and I have it, and I'm looking at it on the bookshelf over there.
I've not read it.
It's very good. But in more recent times, I'm going to go with the author, which is Timothy something of the 4-Hour Workweek.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Timothy something. I'm sorry, but I can't remember what it is.
His full name, Timothy something.
But that book is the reason why we're doing what we're doing now. And therefore, it's got to be fairly influential, isn't it?
That's really good. I like that. I really like that. That's a good one. Do you like these questions?
I do. Keep going, Tiffla.
So let's talk about Apple.
Why is it just... This has just become you interviewing me.
We'll do it... because I've Googled the questions and you've not done that.
Let's do a flip reverse next week.
What is the one common myth about working at Apple that you want to debunk?
Everybody...
The discounts are any good.
Well, everybody... There's a couple. Everybody thinks that if you work at Apple, you get Apple stuff for free.
Free.
Which you don't.
Everyone's asked me that.
People also, they absolutely do not believe that working for Apple, you don't know when the next thing is coming out.
Which you don't.
Which you don't.
Is very true. When that announcement comes out and you bribe me with a bottle of wine to watch it.
And we sit and we watch it, yeah.
That is the first time
I am learning, yeah.
That's very true.
But that is one thing that people genuinely don't believe.
That's really good.
And like... Obviously, I was a manager in a flagship retail store for the world, and I would have customers asked to talk to a manager, and I would go over and absolutely not a problem. What is it that I can help you with? And they would be like, your team member here has said that they can't advise me on whether the next thing is the best thing to wait for.
Did someone escalate that, really?
Of course, yeah. Because people would go, well, I'm not going to buy this because I've heard this, and this, and this. And of course, our team would go, well, we don't know that as a fact because we don't know what's coming. And they would go, well, if I talk to a manager, they'll know. And so I would...
Sorry. Yeah. Is this just in...
No, it happened in the UK as well.
Fine.
Because people are like, well, if I talk to the manager, I'm going to get the information I want. So they would go, you must know what's happening. I would have people go, well, in that case, because you don't know, in that case, Apple commercially and you professionally must not know what you're doing because you can't prepare, blah, 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 blah. And I would always be like, do you know what?
Are you stupid,
it's the most valuable brand in the world. Its share price continues to rise. We cannot make these things quick enough. I reckon the model works. So me not knowing...
So fuck off, Karen.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So those are your myths busted.
That is true. When people used to ask me about discount, because obviously I use that to make friends. So they were like, oh yeah, my husband works at Apple. Do you want a discount? And they're like, what is it? It's like 17%. Oh, really? But yeah, it's not as good as you think. It's like, oh, did he get the Apple Watch?
Well, no.
Of course he fucking didn't. What do you mean?
The discounts that I had access to were good discounts. They are good discounts.
Course.
But people would always go,
there were a lot more.
well, you just get it for free. They would look at me and go, well, you don't pay for your iPhone.
And because you wore an Apple Watch for so many years, people in store must have just gone, well, you got that for free. What are you talking about?
No, I paid for that.
Actually, no, you paid for it.
And also, as an Apple employee, you pay if you break it as well.
Yeah, of course.
So
you pay repair.
If you need a repair,
you
will not get priority repair. You will not get priority appointments.
This is a public
you will not get priority. As an Apple employee, you are a customer as much as every other customer. You just happen to work in that.
That was a good one. That's a really good question.
And if anybody has got to an hour and a half through this podcast, Apple employees who listen to this right now are applauding. I know. But if anybody's still going,
yeah, I love it.
There you go. There's a little insight.
Okay, maybe a quicker one. What is the happiest moment of your life?
I got married to you.
That doesn't have to be the standard thing. It can be anything. Can be happier. Like driving a car around the F1 track. Like
there are a few moments I think where you go like,
what the fuck is this life?
Well, like those like little snippets of euphoria, you know,
it's literally euphoria.
Where you do in your head, you go, I need to take a picture of this because. And there's probably a few. One, obviously, and I don't have a specific moment of it, but our wedding day was just awesome from start to finish. Was awesome.
But also, I just go like, I was at Tomorrowland, and I saw like Eric Prydz, and it's just like that is true euphoria. Yep. And you're just like, I cannot believe I'm in this moment.
So I have a similar one.
Yeah.
When I saw Muse at the Emirates with Adam Fabulous, doesn't listen to the podcast, but he is my best friend. But if he does, message me, mate.
Oh, these
are the crescendo of the Muse song Madness. That I will always remember. It is one of those little snapshots that I have in my head because it was a beautiful day, blue skies. It was the evening, and the song just built and built and built. We were down right at the front, so right in the crowd, and it just built. And like I remember looking up, and I could see the top of the stadium, blue skies. The song was on. I was with my best mate at the time. Well, he is still my best mate. I was with at the time. I was with my best mate, and that's one of those. But there's loads of those sorts of things. But those are sort of some
I think
of them.
there are very, like, for me... And
driving a Lamborghini through the desert. But I think
for you as well, a lot of them are quite musical and like being at a venue and a concert. And like, I saw Eric Prydz, Baker Matt in the same venue at Tomorrowland, and you're just like... And because I won that trip and I didn't pay for that trip, and it was just like, I cannot believe... and I won a cruise the year before. Yeah. And I was just like, I cannot believe I'm here in this moment. And like, obviously I had to take Emma with me because you couldn't come with me. And it was just like, I don't know how I made it here. Yeah. And it was just overwhelming. I love those moments.
I do.
Because you're
I
so
love those
overwhelmed.
Moments.
And you're not particularly like drunk and you're not over on anything else, but you're just like, I'm here. And that's what, like, I think if someone meditate and people that are really into meditation and being one, I think that's how someone feels.
Yes. Because you find the value in the very second you're in. And
I've only kind of just realised that as I'm saying it. Like, actually, it's like a thing. I'm like, that's what, like, meditation and being me is. Yeah. But that's really interesting.
And that's what teaches you to find the value in any... Like, I could sit here right now and just go, I'm in a house in Ibiza. I'm looking at you. We're doing a podcast. We're drinking wine, and it's nice wine. Behind you, I'm looking at our wall, covered in our memories.
Yeah.
It's lovely weather. We've got the door open. There's a breeze coming through.
And that's what you have to recognise.
And you kind of go, that, if I took a little mental snapshot now, it's a wonderful moment to be in.
That's so interesting.
I think everybody needs to do that more often.
It's like an epiphany.
Someone right now could be listening to this while on a walk.
And look where you are. If you are on a walk, just look
lovely
around,
is that?
Open your eyes and look around at what you see.
It could, that right now. It's a lovely moment of the day,
amazing.
Isn't it? It's a lovely moment.
And you don't realise that.
No.
That's really
I think that's what all of us, everybody, needs to be better at to day.
That's
because otherwise all you ever pick is the day I got married, the day my kid was born, the day I won the lottery. Because I don't
actually see... I know it sounds bad, like the day we got married, but like it was a beautiful day and an amazing day. Yeah. But actually, that's not an epiphany moment. There's no single moment
that day.
Thing there that day, like.
Other than the moment I saw you walking down the aisle in your dress.
Oh, fuck off! What did you actually think? We've never discussed that. Did you like my dress?
I loved your dress.
Did you?
Yeah.
But actually, no, that day, if you get the overwhelming feeling, the vows and everything like that.
That's because it's wrapped up in a day, isn't it?
It's wrapped up,
It's not a single moment.
That's the funny thing. What's your first memory of me?
Of you?
Yeah.
So, good question. So, obviously,
Google.
we met in the first time we ever met was Tapas in San Antonio with a group of people. It was a birthday party.
Yeah.
And
Ash's birthday.
It was Ash's birthday. Lots of groups of people. I'd been in Ibiza for a day. I was with my mate, who we've talked about earlier, and he was like, we're going out for dinner. There's going to be a group of people coming. And I was like, cool, no worries. So we met there. I don't really remember meeting you there.
I know the photo there, but I don't
We had a photo taken there.
We were nowhere
as
near
a big
each
group.
other. We were at the other end of the table.
Later that day, between having dinner and sort of meeting there and then being in Pasha later that night, obviously there'd been plenty of moments of walking to the shop. I got my stupid bucket of Jaeger and Red Bull, and we got onto a bus. We almost got kicked off said bus. You shouted at the bus driver and said he can't kick us off, and you were the negotiator that kept us on the bus. And then we went into Pasha. I believe you were around to sort of help me get into Pasha and make sure that I was on the guest list and stuff. And I remember that then, much later in the night, we're talking many hours later, where I think everybody had gone in, separated, and sort of gone and done their own thing. So I stuck around with Adam and people did their own thing. I remember that on the ground floor, dance floor, at some point, you came over, you'd found us, you had seen us, you came over, and I remember just shouting at you, because obviously it's an Ibiza nightclub, shouting at you, where the fuck have you been? Because at this point, obviously, my head's a little bit fuzzy and I'm a bit mangled, but I clearly had been influenced by you and what had happened between the meal when we met and being there and everything you'd done on the bus and getting me in. And so I didn't miss you when you were gone, but when you came back and I saw you again, I was like, oh, it's Tiff. Where the fuck have you been? Was very much a sort of my way of expressing of you're back. Yeah. You should have been with me the whole time.
That's so
and
cute.
that's probably my earliest memory of you.
That's a good memory. I like that. While that was happening, your old boss Mags has just been messaging me, and that's why I just took a picture of you, which you just seen.
Does Mags listen to the podcast?
I don't think she does, but I did say, do you have a last minute question? She was like, it's lovely to see you both. Just get the vlogs back up. So, what's the plan for the vlog?
So, we've obviously taken multiple weeks off now since the vlog stopped because everything arrived and we got to 77 days in Ibiza and we went, there you go, we are officially here. We have done one vlog since, which is us putting the wall up. We have said, I think we probably talk about it every day. When are we going to get the video going again? I'm going to be honest, it's been nice that we've switched off.
Yeah,
but
I really want to film
am
again.
Now looking forward to getting back onto vlogging. So we've talked a little bit about how we're going to vlog about the gym being put together.
Yep.
We're going to do another house tour because so much has happened in the house since people last saw it. What's winter like in Ibiza? Where to go now that everything's closed, all sorts of things. So there is plenty for the vlog coming up. It's not going to be the daily of this is us having lunch, this is us doing work. At least for another month. We'll start that in December again. But in November, there's going to be a couple of videos coming out about what's the latest.
I'm excited because I think I've obviously got time to vlog more. I actually really want to make some more content, especially when it comes to fitness again, because I feel like I actually want to document my journey again. Do you know, like I did before?
I've been wondering whether you want to do this. I was wondering whether you want to keep the fitness journey that we're going through on or off social media.
No, I think I want to, and I don't know whether you do because you're different, but I tracked it before on YouTube, and if you go back in our videos, you'll see. I've tracked a lot of my fitness journey, and you'll see that I am literally probably the most unfit you've ever seen me. But if I can, that's my accountability in some sense. If I film it and I just go, this is my check-in, this is what's happening, this is I'm training.
Do you see yourself sort of early November, which is next week, sort of vlogging a weigh-in and a workout?
Maybe vlogging a weigh-in, but not showing people what it says.
Well, but do you see yourself like wanting to do that?
No, I feel like, because do you remember when I did it before and I did my journey and it was so good?
Well, maybe
when we were in the downtown apartment in Dubai, Old Town, I was doing really good with my journey, and that's when I was working with Puma before.
Well, you were a personal trainer at the time,
yeah,
weren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just get people here. We'll do a little boot camp.
So there is plenty.
Because that's accountability.
I think it's really important to say the content, although nothing's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming.
There is stuff coming.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really, really good point. Do you have a question for me, or do you want me to just keep asking random shit?
The only other question I had, we started this conversation at dinner, I think last night or something, and it was one of those moments where we went, let's stop talking about this because
this is a good one.
It's quite good. Was, when have you been most proud of me?
I think the point where I've been most proud of you is for context, people, when a guy thinks they're sick, then you don't ask for help, you don't take the cold and flu tablets, you don't do this, that and the other. I think I've been most proud of you when you've gone, and it's been multiple times, I need some help.
Oh, okay.
And whether that is like we've had to go to hospital because that has happened when you've blown up like a Michelin man, or whether that's been I need to see a therapist because that's obviously happened. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the time when you just go like, actually, you've realised that that's the case and that's what you need to do. And then other times it's just like, I made you run a 10k with me. Mm-hmm. That was funny. And you were like, oh, I'll run it behind you, but I'll run it. But I think like actual proud is just like when you've admitted that you needed more than we could do.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a really big thing. So.
Oh, good answer, love. Well done.
Thank you. When have you been proud of me?
Breathe. You know what, I thought of this, I'm not copping out by doing this, but I am proud of you every day.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I think every single day you do something that improves our life. Every day. Whether it's something small, something grand, something big, whatever. Every single day you do something for us and our lives and our livelihood and our quality of life. And that makes me very proud. I'm obviously very proud of the fact that right now you're the breadwinner. Yes. You're the worker. But even if you weren't, even if we were back in Dubai because we couldn't do this, but if you'd carried on and you were doing what you were doing right now, I'm very, very proud of the fact that you're running your own business. And your business is your name. It is you. It's not something else. Your business is you. And I know that's not easy. And I know it's tough. And I know that, we've talked about before, sort of like imposter syndrome and you have self-doubts and things like that. But I am so incredibly proud of the fact that despite those challenges and how difficult getting to the goal may feel, you plow through every day. And you do an incredible job, and I'm very proud of you.
That's good. That's a nice one. I like it. Are we finished?
I feel as if we should close off. I know we're not exactly finished on the wine, but we're approaching an hour and 45 minutes, love. Nobody is still listening. Should we do a second emoji?
For the lulz.
Yeah, let's do a second emoji.
What is it?
Have we...
Proud. Hold on. We were just talking about being proud. Like a medal? They did the...
No, we've done the medal.
Trophy.
No, we've done that before.
Oh, shit. Why do I never get the good... Why do I never know this?
Let's do... Because everybody feels as if they would have aged whilst listening to this podcast.
Do the grandpa.
Like the grandpa. Or the grandma. So if you're a male listening, send us a grandpa. If you are a female listening, send us a grandma. So 2 emojis this week.
Oh, Jesus.
There's a test.
That is a long one, eh?
Because they would have had to have sent one earlier. They've now got to send another one. 2 emojis, people.
Well, I do want to thank you because it's actually been a really nice chat. Oh my God, he finished it. He just finished the wine. We've done very well. Thank you for the chat.
It's the longest podcast to date, and genuinely, I thank anybody who's still listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Thank you on the YouTubes, unless that might run out. But we will see you next week for a shorter, snappier, sweeter podcast.
Will be. It will be.
Because we're doing, it's different.
Yeah.
Don't tell.
Next week's podcast will definitely be different.
See Barley. So thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. Message us all of your comments. We love you. Okay, we'll see you. Bye.
Okay, bye.